Greetings. Um, Today I wanted to talk about another documentary, which I mentioned a few weeks ago. I sort of talked about my favorite documentaries, and that is American Movie. As I said before, this is about Mark Borchardt as he tries to initially make a feature film, Northwestern, which he had been filming uh, quite a bit for many years. This film, primarily, takes place from, the very beginning is like 1995, and then it ends in the summer of 1997. But Mark Borchardt, he's a filmmaker from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's been making movies ever since he was 14, and so he has a film for called Northwestern that he has been making off and on over the years, and he's trying to gather money to really finish it, to make sure that everything is good, and he's shooting on film, honestly, so that's pretty cool, especially back in those days, like in the 80s and 90s. And it's interesting, the director of this film, Chris Smith, he had made a film, American Job, and he was editing at University of Milwaukee, or University of Wisconsin's, film department. They had an editing rooms, and he was making or putting together his film like another cut, cutting it down and everything to have a proper release. And then he heard something next door, and it was Mark, as he was editing his film, and Mark is unable to get Northwestern finished, and so he puts that on hold and decides to finish a short film, as he calls Coven, or Coven, normally spoken, but as it's typically said, but he says it's Coven because his rationale is, well, Coven sounds like oven, man. That just doesn't work. Yeah, and so he he gets friends, people that back together who had already been shot some stuff back in '94, and some people like Kenny Keene, somebody he's known for many years, is there. We get to also get to know his parents and his family quite a bit. One is Uncle Bill, whom he's trying to get money from because he has a good amount of money that he has saved up, as he's retired. And he's Uncle Bill is really whenever he's there, it's just very interesting just to see the two of them, he and Mark, just on screen together. It's just very interesting just to see them talk. And then there is Mike Schank, one of Mark's great friends, best friends. And he's like, how he used to party, he used to do drugs and drink a lot, but then he doesn't party anymore. He had a bad trip with LSD where he almost died, and then kept doing drugs for a little bit afterwards, but then he quit, and he was from then on he stayed clean. Mike Schank unfortunately passed away in 2022, um, from cancer. But uh, one thing about this film, and I never gotten this before. I don't know why, but I remember seeing it when I was about 14, 15 or so. Pretty sure it was the IFC channel, Independent Film Channel, and that was just a funny film. It's obviously it's a documentary, but it's very funny. But there's a lot of heart in it, and for anybody who wants to make movies or does make or is making movies, independent movies, this is an excellent film to watch because you get to really see just how difficult it is to make a movie. It's not something that you can just pick up and do. I mean, yeah, you can do that, but obviously in these days there's digital, and you can have you know you don't necessarily have to have a film camera and get reels of film and everything. But you do decent equipment. You can even shoot on a phone. Get certain things to have like decent microphones hooked up and everything, or a another camera. But of course, back when this was made, in the '90s, digital wasn't a thing. At least not yet. That was being developed, and of course, there were filmmakers like George Lucas was a big pioneer for that. Wanted to make digital films. Wasn't able to shoot the Phantom Menace on digital, but he was able to have it screened digitally. So that was the first film screened digitally, and then Attack of the Clones was like the first film shot digitally. So, and then from there, of course, he made Revenge of the Sith, and then nowadays most movies and shows are shot digitally. But there are some people who still shoot on film. Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan are two of the biggest proponents of shooting on film. Um, and any interviews I've seen with Mark, he seems to really like shooting on film quite a bit too. But no, I'm saying this because today it's easier to shoot something. You can just shoot like a video like this fairly easily. You don't have to have like one of those little uh, cameras with like little tapes or anything, like a camcorder of the sort. Any kind of camcorder you could get today. It would be like have like SD cards, or it would have like an internal memory where after so much time you'd be shooting something. You'd have to import it onto a computer or whatever, and that way you could get everything there and then sort through what you want, and then obviously discard what you don't want um, fairly easily. So watching this back then and even now, it's very fascinating just to see how things were. Obviously, I'm from the Midwest, similar to Mark and Mike and everybody here. Um, Obviously, I'm from Iowa. They're from Wisconsin. Well, excuse me. But yeah, throughout the film, you see the various ups and downs of Mark in his life and the various people. Mike is somebody who always is highlight whenever he comes on. He's just great. He's so such a kind guy and very nice. And he plays the guitar, and from what he says, is he's self taught. And so the music throughout the film was performed by Mike Schank. Um, Chris Smith produced this film in addition to directing it, as well as was the cinematographer. Sarah Price, after a point, she came and helped do with the sound, and also was a producer on this film. And Michael Stipe of REM actually helped produce it because he uh, uh, I believe he saw parts of this film, or American Job, I actually am offhand can't recall for the moment though. I mean, I've ever since getting this film, I've been watching it and watched all of these things. But so regardless of whatever happened, it could have been that Michael Stipe saw American Job, and then might have seen certain things that they had because it took them a while to edit this film. They had all this footage they didn't see what it was, so I think it could have very well been um, saw American Job and he liked it and wanted to fund whatever he was doing next and or help have a hand in funding that, and so they were able to actually shoot for most days afterwards. They were able to follow and spend time with Mark and Mike and the family of Mark's. Um, and in the end, I guess you could say spoilers, but they do finish Coven, and on the DVD, um, as a special feature, Coven is actually included. Here, this has the same special features, but not except with the exception of Coven, probably because it's Mark's film, and so they're able to license that to um, initially on DVD, but it came time for that Blu-ray, now 4K Blu-ray, because this film is 25 years old, came out in 1999, and uh, they don't have it anymore. So if I ever got this again, I might just get the uh, DVD, just because some of the stuff that, I mean, granted, it just has one thing, but that'd be kind of cool just to, I guess, have physically. Because you can find Coven on YouTube. Um, even though it had its premiere in 1997, it's often said like 2000, because when the DVD came out, that was when most people saw it, which was in 2000, obviously. But in the end, finishes Coven, has a premiere, and he was able to sell VHS copies, which I think even today you can still get a VHS copy of Coven, I think, and it'll be signed Mark Borchardt. And in the end, Uncle Bill, passed away later in September. They had the premiere at the beginning of summer, I believe June, possibly July, but that September he passed away, and as well he left Mark $50,000 to complete Northwestern, and throughout the film, Bill doesn't really want to part ways with his money. That's a kind of a recurring thing every time, at least every other time, I should say, perhaps. It's not always, but, he didn't want to just part ways with his money. But that kind of shows a whole lot of, and we do see how Mark very much cares for his uncle. He loves him, and he helps, because, he's older, and he helped bathe him and everything. And so, there are people who, when they saw it, they initially thought he was kind of just trying to just get money from his uncle, and that was it. No more than that. But throughout the documentary, you really see how he actually loves and cares for his uncle, and isn't just like, I only want his money. Because some of the stuff you see him do, it's like, if he wanted his money, I mean, yeah, going above and beyond. But there are moments that are very, very telling that he absolutely loves his uh, uh, uncle. And I could keep going, but I don't want to spoil everything. But seeing Mark and Mike interact is always a great time, and the deleted scenes are great. There's a commentary by Chris Smith and Sarah Price and Mark Borchardt and Mike Schank as 82-year-old uncle says on the back. So yeah, very good documentary, very well done. Um, if you've never seen it, um, give it a watch. Even if you're not somebody who wants to make movies or has an interest in that in particular, but if you do, just enjoy seeing people being real and just uh, uh, going and uh, just trying to achieve their dream. And as Mark wants to achieve the American dream. You have a goal, and you want to achieve it, and in a way, he does absolutely achieve the American dream, and he. Thanks to this, he was able to get more exposure and has been in other stuff. Um, However, Northwestern so far has not been completed. We don't know the state of it. Was did he absolutely finish everything of filming? But maybe there's just editing costs might have been huge. Was there more to shoot? Did he shoot more? And then perhaps the editing process same. But also we see how he's very much in debt and needs to you know he does need money, and we see him go through various jobs, like going on a paper route and everything. Just a very good film. I enjoy this. It's an excellent documentary. Absolutely one of my favorite documentaries. Possibly my favorite, but I don't know. I mean, I do love Empire of Dreams, making the Star Wars trilogy, just seeing everything about those three films and how they came together. Hoop Dreams is also very good. But I don't know, I just really like this. It has a lot of heart, and it's just a very, very good film. Documentary film, whatever you want to say, call it. It's very good, and the Blu-ray looks very good. Again, you can watch Coven online somewhere. There are people who are like, yeah, it's not a very good movie or whatever, short. And we do see the making of Coven, obviously, throughout the film. And my impressions of Coven is that's fine. Is an excellent and phenomenal and one of the best short films ever made. Yeah, sure, maybe not, but I don't think it's horrendous at all. When you look at this documentary and you see what all goes into making it, and then you have that in mind when you watch the short, I think you can absolutely have a good respect for it. Even if you don't love it, it's like it's a fine, fine short. It's very, very good for what it is. I'd probably give it maybe like a 3 out of 5 stars if I was ever to give it a rating. I don't really like doing that, but that would be one if I had to, maybe 3.5. Again, just because you watch this and you see what goes into the making of it. So I think for me that could be part of it. Maybe some might be more critical, even with watching this, but still, I think that this is the documentary is very well done. I think for what Coven is, and for the low budgetness of it, and how he's able to get what he wants. Yeah, and there is some alcoholism that you see from Mark. He is he does drink quite a bit, so there is that. This is obviously rated R for language and some drug content. Yeah. That's really all I have to say. Very good documentary. Yeah, one of the best. So, have you ever watched this documentary? If you have, do you enjoy it? Do you dislike it? Why not? Whatever. You can obviously leave all that in the comments if you want. And yeah, I just wanted to highlight another documentary. I don't really talk about documentaries much, but I don't know. 30th anniversary of Hoop Dreams and the 25th anniversary of American Movie. I don't know. I just kind of got more into a documentary mood from anniversaries, I guess, on one hand, but I don't know. I just started to just want to watch some, and these two in particular, I wanted to highlight because they're very good. They're very well done, and I just wanted to discuss it a bit. You know, I don't want to ruin it for everybody, even though, yeah, you do know how it does end a bit, but at the same time, you know, there is some, you know, there are ups and downs, but, you know, I would like to think that the good and the ups absolutely outweighs the downs, the negative aspects of what you see. Like, you know, it's a very good movie. They're very good, well made, and the people involved are very interesting. What they say, like, you know, local cast of hilarious weirdos. But yeah, he very good. Yeah. You know, Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. You know, within the Milwaukee area. I've been in around Milwaukee before. Nice going through it at least, but yeah. So yeah, that's really it. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all have a great day and a great weekend. It's almost time for Christmas and Hanukkah, the end of the year. So get ready for that. Hope you'll all have a great rest of the year. I mean, I will make a couple more videos before the year is over, but still, hope you'll all have a great rest of the year regardless, just as I hope you all have a great weekend and a great final full week of December and last final week of 2024. See you all later. Bye.